Will painting and new flooring actually help you sell your home faster, or should you just sell as is? I get asked this question a lot, and honestly, the answer depends on your specific situation. But let me walk you through what that looks like. So I had a seller call me just yesterday who's been thinking about selling for a while. They wanted to know if making some updates would be worth it. Should they paint? Put in new flooring? And here's where it gets interesting. Yes, those things can absolutely help, but not always in the way you might think. It's not always about raising your home's price. Sometimes it's about something even more important, getting your home sold faster. Let me be really clear about this. First impressions matter. You only get one chance to make a first impression, and buyers today are incredibly selective. When I work with sellers, I tell them over and over, your success hinges on how well you prepare your home and the impression you make in those first few seconds. Now, here's the thing about paint and flooring. Depending upon your home's location and market, they may not dramatically raise your selling price. But what they absolutely do is reduce your days on market, and that's huge. Fewer days on market means less carrying costs, less stress, and frankly, a faster sale. Fresh paint and neutral colors signals a well-maintained home. It photographs better. Buyers see it and think, this person took care of this place. New and refinished flooring does the same thing. You're not necessarily getting a dollar for dollar return on investment, but you're removing obstacles. You're making sure your home doesn't linger. Think of it this way. Paint and flooring are the prep work that gets buyers in the door and keeps them interested. They're relatively affordable compared to major renovations, and they work. I actually had an estate sale a few years ago where the home had been neglected. We did a few initial showings off the grid, and every single buyer said the same thing. I wouldn't pay more than X for it. But when the sellers invested about $10,000 in paint and flooring, we ended up selling that home for more than $70,000 above what those first buyers were willing to offer. That's the power of prep work. Now, major renovations, that's a completely different conversation, and this is where a lot of sellers get stuck. I had that same client yesterday mention that they were thinking about renovating their bathrooms. They'd gotten one quote so far, just one, to remove a wall, $40,000 just to remove the wall. Here's my advice, and I'm very direct about this. If you're planning to sell in the near future, major renovations like that are rarely worth it. You won't see a return that justifies the expense. You're spending $40,000, maybe $60,000, $80,000 on a bathroom or kitchen renovation, and you might recoup 60% of that if you're lucky. That's money out of your pocket. But here's what I always tell sellers. Get multiple quotes before you decide anything. Don't rely on one estimate. Get 3, compare them, understand what you're actually looking at, because sometimes what seems like a necessary renovation isn't necessary at all for selling. So the question becomes, are you selling soon or are you planning to stay? If you're selling soon, skip the major renovations. Do the things that give you more bang for your buck. Paint, flooring, decluttering, clearing the space. Those things close sales. I had another situation recently with a property that had significant deferred maintenance and a lot of personal items filling the space. Buyers were overwhelmed. They didn't want to finish the tour, let alone make an offer. But once the seller cleared everything out, the perception completely shifted. We ended up with multiple offers and sold for over asking. Sometimes it's not about what you add, it's about what you remove and how you present the space. But if you're planning to stay in your home for another 5-10 years, then yes, do those renovations. Do them for you because you'll actually enjoy them. You'll live with them. That's different. The bottom line is this: prep work and first impressions sell homes. Major renovations are an investment in your lifestyle, not your sale. But here's the real truth. What works best for your home depends on your specific situation. Is it deferred maintenance, clutter, location, market conditions? Every home is different. That's exactly why you want to have a conversation with a professional who can look at your actual property and tell you what's going to move the needle. Not what you have to do, but what actually makes sense for your goals and your timeline. If you're thinking about selling and you're wrestling with these questions, let's talk. That conversation could be the difference between a good sale and a great one. I'm Shannon Werkel with Greater Peoria Living and Realtor for eXp Realty, keeping you informed.